Spare some gold for a veteran?
Need something?
Watch the skies, traveler.
I've got weapons forgiven.
I have to wonder, what does the Dragonborn do once he's been summoned by the Greybeards? Can the Thum be taught, like any skill?
May I be of assistance, Your Majesty?
You are looking well today, Emperor.
Hail the Emperor!
It is good to see you again, Your Majesty. Very well, Emperor. Since this is not the Imperial city, we are lacking a few things, so we will just have to make do. Give me a second to summon the court, and we can get started. It is good to see you again, Your Majesty.
Greetings, Emperor.
It is good to see you again.
I'll be here if you need me, Emperor.
Standing before us is the rightful heir to the Septim throne. Would anybody gathered here today challenge that claim? Dragonborn, Ysmir, Dragon of the North. Do you swear to protect the Empire and its people from enemies within and without? Do you swear to hold up the laws and traditions of the Empire to the best of your ability? Do you recognize the authority of the Elder Council? Then the Council names you Dragon Emperor, rightful heir to the throne of the Septims. Those of us gathered here today swear fealty to the rightful ruler of the Empire, and promise to serve you loyally in all things. Long live the Emperor! Yes, Your Majesty. The ceremony was mostly to reassure those gathered here that you will keep your promises by having you repeat. They will hold you to your vows. Providing you do not break them, they will remain loyal to you. They are what remains of the Elder Council, the ones that supported you and survived. The rest have either been assassinated or arrested by now. The Council will handle their trials, since the Council knows their crimes. You need not worry about it, Emperor. The law will be served and justice will be done. This is your home here in Solitude. You can hold court here by speaking to me, have dinner, or just relax with your guests. Anything important that requires your attention will come to me, Your Majesty, and I will always be here in the Emperor's Tower. Mr. Smith will also be here, as will your Imperial Battle Mage. They are mostly there to help me, as I am here to help you, Your Majesty. From time to time, you may find you need one or more of them to solve some problems. If you find you need them, they'll be right here with me. Now we start to rebuild this shattered empire, and deal with those wretched Thalmor. It is good to see you again, Your Majesty. It is good to see you again, Your Majesty. Goodbye, Your Majesty.
Greetings, Emperor.
It is good to see you again, Your Majesty. We are ready for them, Your Majesty. The work you did at Helgen has paid off. Yes, Your Majesty. The Divine Crusader and Mr. Smith have given me the locations of all Eldmeri forces within the Empire. The Legion is making sure no supplies or messages get through to them, so they are effectively being starved out. It reminds me of the Akaviri at Pale Pass, Your Majesty. Our forces are moving into position to assault the Eldmeri forces should they attempt to move or attack. The 33rd have ordered the borders closest to the enemy be defended, but most of the enemy forces are inside the Empire already. From what I could tell, they were nearly ready to start the next war, but thanks to your efforts at Helgen, we have the element of surprise. With their forces divided, still awaiting supplies before they can start the next war, and out of touch with each other, I would say, yes, Emperor. It will be slaughter. Our early advantage will weaken the Eldmeri Dominion considerably, but they will recover. We have to defeat the bulk of forces already here before we can even consider an invasion of the Eldmeri Dominion. But the Eldmeri Dominion can build a new army in its own territory whilst we do that. I believe we will suffer few losses. Our advantage is too great. Also, the troops will gain valuable experience during the campaign. By the time we turn our attention to the Eldmeri Dominion, we will have a veteran army to take on their raw recruits. Yes, Your Majesty. Goodbye, Your Majesty.
Greetings, Emperor.
Pay its respects to you, Your Majesty.
Always a pleasure, Your Majesty. How may I be of assistance? A mistake, Your Majesty. I will see to it that those responsible are punished. The treaty, Your Majesty. You cannot jest. No, Your Majesty, but we. The treaty clearly states. What? The Empire has to stand by its treaties. So it is true. You are Dragonborn. A Dragon Emperor. I must update our records. Talos was a man, and he's dead. What message do you have for us, Emperor? You cannot do that. We have a treaty, it says. Then war it is. You are a student of history. Good. Your part in it will be short. We will see to it. Goodbye, Emperor. You will... Yes, Emperor.
Greetings, Emperor. Already done, Your Majesty. General Lightheart saw to it. He has even placed forces inside elsewhere to harass the enemy when the time comes. Once we start shelling their towns with the heads of the Justicar, they will know we mean business, Emperor. The news of such an act will spread like wildfire around the Somerset Isles. The Thalmor may even spread the news themselves. It would also be a good way to tell those opposed to the Thalmor that they have allies in the Empire. This may open a few doors for me, Emperor. I will see to it. Will you be joining them, Emperor? Good. That will be a major boost to the morale of the troops, Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty. The days of the Dragon Emperors have truly returned.
You are looking well today, Emperor.
It's good to see you, Emperor. Emperor, my men have reported a sudden arrival in Skyrim of refugees from Cyrodiil. I have no idea, Emperor, but something big is happening in Cyrodiil, and the official channels seem to be blocked. I have the locations of 3 refugees that have recently arrived from Cyrodiil. I strongly recommend you talk to them personally. Yes, Your Majesty, but you have to start showing your face, showing you are in charge, so it is best you be seen to handle these things. 1 refugee is in Ivanstead, 1 in Falkreath, and 1 in Riften. Here, I have written down the details of all their locations for you. Farewell, Emperor.
You were looking well today, Emperor.
Best offense is a good defense, am I right? Staying safe, I hope?
I have to wonder. What does the Dragonborn do once he's summoned by the Greybeards? Can the Thuum be taught? Like any skill.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire and I'll send someone over.
How can I be of service, Emperor? I live to serve Dragon.
Emperor, I'm so happy to see you. 'Twas terrible, Emperor. They came from us in the middle of the night, drove us from our homes.
She could just spend less time serving
The Thalmor's Justicar. They claim my entire village in the name of some Aldemiri Dominion. Where is the Legion? Emperor, why have they allowed this? Thank you, Emperor. I'm just one of the first of many to arrive in Skyrim seeking safety. There are hundreds, if not thousands more, just like me coming here too.
We're the children of Skyrim, and we fight all our lives. And when Sovngarde beckons, every one of us dies.
Welcome to the Villamere Inn.
I heard you were at the wedding of the Emperor's cousin.
Just let
Solitude.
me know.
Here for work?
Gods.
Get an
That must
axe
have
and
been
bring me all
horrible.
the wood you can chop.
All right then.
My Emperor, we are desperate. Please help us. I come from Bruma, Your Majesty. It is under siege by the Aldemiri Dominion.
If I could sweep her away from here tomorrow, I'd do it. But Klimek still has so
They had an army, hidden in the hills. At the outbreak of the war, they marched to the nearest city and besieged it.
perhaps one day, but not.
The Legion are nowhere to be seen. Nobody knows what's happening with them.
I think you should continue with your performances.
What's the point? I'm not very good, and it's only for the same few people every night.
I think you play beautifully.
You like me, eh?
Shame.
Sorry, I'm afraid I can't help you much right now.
If you've got the coin, you've come to the right place. Pull up a seat.
New
Emperor,
eh?
they're driving us from our homes. I come from Coronation, Your Majesty. It has almost fallen to the Aldemiri Dominion. We have had traitors inside the city. They opened the gates and let them in. Every Imperial citizen has been driven out of the city. We are all homeless. The guards are all dead, executed. And the Count and Countess too. No, Your Majesty, they did not need to. They are already here. People were speaking of hidden camps all over Cyrodiil.
Oh, they were on us before anybody could sound the alarm. I do not know, Emperor. The guards were the only defence we had, and they did not last long against the professional soldiers.
Looking for work? I need someone to deliver a
What is it?
Our new Emperor is none other than the Governor who defeated the Aldemir Dominion at the Battle of Helgen.
Spare some
They
gold
say the
for a
Emperor
veteran?
sneaks out the castle at night to hunt for Thalmor spies.
Trouble?
You should see me when you get bored, stranger.
Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty. We will guard the Emperor's tower in Solitude.
On the coldest of nights, in the steam rising from my breath, I see the many.
You are looking well today, Emperor.
It's good to see you, Emperor.
It is good to see you again. I will summon the Imperial Court immediately, Your Majesty.
I too received a report whilst you were away, but nothing through official channels. This comes from the Knights of the Nine, hidden in Cyrodiil. Some of the surviving Elder Council that were jailed for treason were freed by the Thalmor at the outbreak of the war. They ordered the Legion in Cyrodiil to stand down. Some legions refused, and are still guarding the borders as ordered. The ones that agreed to stand down are now prisoners of the Aldemir Dominion, Your Majesty. No, Your Majesty, the borders are not under attack. Our legions are guarding the wrong places. Cyrodiil is defenseless, and our legions surrounded. The Aldemir Dominion attacked us from inside Cyrodiil. They have already taken control of the Imperial city. I have reports that the rest of Cyrodiil will fall soon. Your Majesty, the Empire is lost. Skyrim is all that remains, and it will be the Aldemir Dominion's next target. Farewell, Emperor.
Greetings, Emperor.
Need something?
Greetings, Emperor. Yes, Your Majesty. I just got word that Bruma is holding out against the Aldemir Dominion, but needs supplies. Unfortunately, the Aldemir Dominion have sent men to blockade all roads in or out of Cyrodiil. They are trapped inside Cyrodiil now the roads are closed, but the news gets worse. Whilst some of our legions are surrounded and entrenched in Cyrodiil, others have dispersed and are making their way here on foot. Word is, they are hoping to evade the Aldemir Dominion forces and rally at Solitude by sneaking across Cyrodiil at night individually. But with the blockade in place, they will be captured or killed at the border. The way things stand right now, any large force crossing Cyrodiil would be surrounded and destroyed before it got too far. Their only hope is to split up and rally here. Yes, that would work. With the Bruma road secured, we could keep Bruma supplied from Skyrim and maintain a foothold in Cyrodiil. Bruma would have to undergo months of siege, but we could send men and supplies through the mountains to aid her. It would also give us a safe road to Solitude for our troops and any refugees that make it past the Aldemir Dominion forces. Very well, Your Majesty, but you still need to prove to the people you are aware of the Emperor. The Dragon Guards stand ready to help you, and I suggest you use them for this attack. But remember, it will take a while to find replacements if they die, so try and keep them alive. We may need them in the future. Good luck breaking through the blockade, Emperor.
It is good to see you again, Your Majesty. I will dismiss the court, Your Majesty. Goodbye,
You
Your
were looking
Majesty.
well today, Emperor.
Hail the Dragonborn. Hail the Dragon Emperor. How can I be of The Dragon Guard is ready to move out, Emperor.
May I be of assistance, Your Majesty?
The Emperor.
What was that?
Fusk Brother!
That's the best you could do! Stand still! Give up while you're fool! I'll see you!
Hail the
Greetings,
Emperor.
Emperor. Excellent news, Your Majesty. I have good news too. Word of Bruma's stand against the Aldemeri Dominion has spread. Civilians are going there to volunteer to fight the Dominion. The Divine Crusaders already sent men to Cyrodiil to try and reach the entrenched legions. Their orders are to rally at Bruma if possible. Exactly so, Your Majesty. Divide and conquer was their plan and it worked. But with most of the Legion divided but otherwise intact, we can rally our full strength at Bruma and push them out of Cyrodiil. The problem with the Dominion strategy is it leaves their own forces scattered across Cyrodiil. Yes, Your Majesty, but it will not be a quick victory. This is going to take a long time. If we can hold Skyrim, we can win this war.
Hail the Emperor.